Hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome to the channel. Last week I got sick and I'm still recovering, so I haven't been able to get back into the garage yet. Luckily, I have some footage from a trip I took down to Virginia a couple years ago where I helped out a friend on a really interesting car. It's one of the last cars in the world to have a V4 engine, and that engine is, if I'm not mistaken, the last production V4 car engine ever made. It's not the first Swedish car we've had on the channel, but it is the oldest. Today we're checking out a 1972 Saab Sonett III owned by my Swedish friend. In this video we'll mostly be checking out the car and chatting about the tweaks and upgrades he's made while he restored it. I have lots more footage of us working on it and pulling out the engine and transmission, so be sure to let me know if you want to see more of this car. Oh wait, do you want me to pull this off?
Huh? Oh yeah.
Because it doesn't pull it in.
Yeah.
Almost.
You know what? I'll do this. You know what?
What?
The alternator works now.
Oh, it does?
Maybe it just need a little time, to build up. Once it starts to magnetize, if it's been sitting a long time, it loses the magnetism. Mm-hmm. So, and maybe with a bit of a more RPM, you got enough to get it started,
Maybe, yeah.
And when it's good.
When I first checked it, when you first started it, it wasn't charging yet.
Yeah, but now the light was out.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe you could check it. And you
yeah,
can see
if you start it up again,
I'll just start it up and you can check it, right?
Yeah. It might also only charge above a certain RPM.
Yeah, but it dropped down, it was still charging.
Okay.
So...
Oh.
It's good.
14.4, yeah.
So, and when you were checking the timing, it was like 22, you said?
I saw 23,
23.
When you had it higher up, and then when it was lower, it was
18?
Around 18, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
Yes, from memory, it's about right,
Okay. Because it has the timing advance.
Yeah, yes. But pure timing advance, yeah. I didn't... Yeah, I had that the vacuum advance is disconnected right now.
Okay.
It's here. I disconnected that.
Okay.
It probably runs a little better because it sucks air from this one,
Yeah.
But that's okay. We don't have to mess with that right now. This is the Dutch design. The electronic. Mm-hmm. And it's built on original parts, and it's programmable via Bluetooth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the timing system you added in?
No, this is for the fan.
Okay.
This is the fan, and
so this one has
a Bluetooth control.
Oh wow! So it's built into here.
1, 2, 3. It's inbuilt in the. It looks similar to an original one, and you see the. It does the connections here. Okay, inside, it's. Bluetooth programmable.
Wow, okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, for the phone, so it's easy to change to whatever your little heart desires. But it's limited to 8,000 RPM.
Okay. Yeah.
Which may be a good thing, because...
What's the factory red line on the engine?
Originally, we were like 5,700 or something, but it's regular cast iron crankshafts. I don't think you With a steel crankshaft, you can go higher than 8,000, but the maximum power is about 7,000 anyway.
Okay.
So 8,000 is really enough.
Yeah, so that's, you probably only want to go up to 7,000 if you've done...
Your rev past 7,000, so the revs doesn't fall down too far below 7,000.
Okay, and that's only if you've done the work you've done.
Okay. Exactly. A regular engine will not rev as high.
Yeah, so you have the... Did you have the heads ported?
Heads are ported.
Then the...
according to the factory 1972 standards, and for the racing engines, and it's a different inlet manifold, different carburetor.
Okay.
And the exhaust obviously is different. So pistons are higher. It's 10-to-1 compression instead of 8-to-1.
Okay.
So there are a few differences.
Yeah, so you say almost double the factory horsepower.
Yeah, theoretically it should be 130 horsepower based on the historical record, but obviously we haven't break this engine yet.
Yeah.
So, but that is in theory what it should give.
So this is which year is this?
1972.
Okay.
The small bumper car.
Yeah.
And I have aftermarket made new bumpers because they tended to rust out.
Yeah.
Because it was just regular mild cylinder and rubber, and moisture come in and it just explodes with rust. Just it was awful design for rust, this car, but a lot of work has gone into fixing rust. So there is no rust on it right now.
Okay. So you've torn this down all the way to the bare chassis.
Absolutely, absolutely. And but quarter of the chassis was replaced with new metal.
Wow.
Something like that. It's it had, they were famous for a battery falling out due to rusting out.
Just rust out under the battery. And
the
fall out while you're driving.
Old style battery, and
if it leaked.
You always have some vapors coming out of the battery, leakage, the old style. So I have a sealed battery now because they all had rust around the battery. And literally battery fell out on a number of cars as the people were driving along the road, which is not good.
Engine stall, it doesn't restart.
Yeah.
What's my problem?
Exactly. Yeah. The batteries just fell out. All right.
And so you said, I think last time you told me you have a new bumper.
Yeah.
And, a new exhaust as well.
You see these bumpers here, they were made by the guy who this was made maybe in around 2000 by the retired guy who used to make them originally.
Oh, wow.
But you can't get them anymore because it's kind of unhealthy material. So they do make a different version. I think it was silicone rubber or something, but it's a different kind of rubber which is not quite lethal as this stuff is during manufacturing. So they cost a fortune, those damn bumpers. You don't even want to think about what they cost.
That's the
But
price of,
that is life, what you're gonna do. If it's
rare.
A rare car, few numbers, the cost kind of explodes, it's just how it is. But
if you can even get parts.
Exactly. And you're just happy you can get something, And what is money, If you just happen to have some, it's okay, If you don't have it, you have to do without. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone has made fiberglass.
Oh yeah, I think that fiberglass copies are made here in the United States,
Yes.
or used to be anyway.
Yeah.
But it's not quite the same. It's not like the original. This is the original.
Wow.
So they look all right, They're not perfectly made, but I don't think they were even brand new.
Like you said, it was built on a train.
Yeah. It's everything about this is kind of low production, handmade stuff. So it's certainly not up to today's standard of a car. How no car manufacturer would make something like this today. That's just out of the question. But they're not too bad, because Anders, who lives in Australia, His car, I think, is well over 200,000 miles.
Oh.
You know, and the engine, you know, which was designed in Detroit, built in Germany, and used in a Swedish car, was it's like the 278 or 271, I think, the early V8s. You know,
Okay.
it has a lot in common with those cars.
Okay, so it's just like half.
Yeah, half. So it's same designers, you know, based on the time. Same designers, so it's similar solutions. And it's literally 2/3 of the V6, which was used in a lot of American cars.
Uh-huh.
But the engines were built in Germany
Okay.
on the same production line as the V4. Okay. And so they are very similar. So, you know, a lot of Broncos, Mustang, 2s, and Rangers, you know, they had a V6.
Okay.
And but only the Germans used this, but Saab was the last one who used this engine in the production car. Germans finished using that engine maybe 5 years before.
So it's the last V4 production car?
I pretty much think, yeah, this particular engine for sure. Mm-hmm. You know, Lancia made the V4 also, you know, but I think that was earlier too. I'm not sure about the years, but they had a V4. Very narrow angle V4.
Yeah, it has a different sound.
It definitely has a different sound.
Because everything is inline four nowadays.
Yes, yes. And I guess it cost a bit more to make this, you know. And even if it's only $100 more, you know, it's over
scale, yeah.
On that number of cars, you know.
So it's a push rod?
Push rod, yes. Yeah. It's basically like, it's the valve mechanism is like on the Ford FE V8, you know, from the 1950s, and so it's a little different, you know, but it's those V6s, you know, the 2.8, 2.9 Ford V6s. It's the rockers, the push rods are the same.
So that's easy to get.
Yeah, it's easy to get, yes.
Then, but if you have an issue, the cam
oil pumps is the same.
Oh, nice.
But the cams, you know, are different. But I use actually V6 rocker shafts, you know, from the V6 because they're available and cheap. You just have to cut them. But you have to cut them on the right side because they are slightly different.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just take... The measurements are asymmetrical, so but it's possible. So what do you think? So we tested the alternators working. That's great. That makes me happy.
We found where the
leak. We found that.
Since we're pulling the engine out.
And the timing I think is pretty good. We can check that later, but I think it's pretty good. You know, at that RPM.
Yeah.
I set it statically, and it should be pretty accurate. It's actually a light built in here.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I think so. That's where the clear. There's a little plastic.
Yeah. No, you check it with this one off. You know, where it is a diode. You know, so you can't see it, but it's it's not on the outside. You have to take the
cap off.
Cap off. You know, when there is a diode, you can set it statically. And but it's pretty accurate where it is, you know. It's so that's okay, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. Is the
let me think about this. I have
another. It heated up pretty quickly. I guess it's a small.
Yeah, and it didn't heat up. It didn't run it that long, you know.
Yeah. It's warm, not hot.
Yeah, it's warm. Yeah, it's warm, but.
So what we have to do here, and the reason I'm here is because the clutch stuck after sitting. Right?
Yes.
So we're going to be pulling the engine out so we can access the clutch and replace it. The
clutch disc at the minimum.
Yeah. So a common issue for collectors of these cars is that if you don't at least yearly actuate the clutch, it'll stick.
Yeah, I think all old cars.
Yeah.
It has stuck, and this one was stuck for sitting there for years without any attention whatsoever when I was sick. So that's just a fact.
So unlike a rear-wheel drive car, you can't just drop the transmission out. So you actually have to pull the whole engine and transmission assembly since there's no access below. And because I think I could see the There's like the part of the chassis underneath the transmission?
Yes, it's solid underneath, so you can't drop it.
Yeah.
Modern cars are like that, you can drop. But here you have to lift it straight out. There is no option.
So we'll have to disconnect the coolant system, right?
Yes.
And then
All the wiring, the ignition.
Yeah.
So
we have to pull the expansion tank off?
I don't think we have to. I think it will sneak around that.
Oh, we'll have to remove the throttle linkage.
Yeah, throttle linkage, yes. And the drive shafts.
Yes.
And
probably the accessories.
yes, the alternators you need to take out before. You see, there is very little space.
Yeah.
It will.
It actually has the
bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, to fit it, because the whole chassis is a narrowed chassis from the Saab 96, and one of the side effects is that they had to do that bubble to fit the alternator. It's just not space enough.
And then the
air conditioning.
It might fit out.
It might. I think we should take it out. I think it will grab here otherwise.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was obviously not stock, but it was an aftermarket thing. It was a York compressor there originally. I put a Sanden compressor in there, the smaller Sanden, which I think is ideal for this purpose.
Yeah.
But
So we'll have to,
that will have to be removed before we can lift it out.
Okay.
And then it should clear, and it should be possible to get it out.
Okay.
And you see here, this is an oil cooler. That is obviously not standard.
Okay.
It's a Laminova coolant to oil cooler.
Okay, so the oil.
So it basically heats the oil up when you start the car up, so the oil heats up quicker than that otherwise would, and then keeps it at that level.
Nice.
And obviously that's not stock, but I put that in because of space restrictions to an air oil cooler. It's just not much space. You can put it up front.
With the condenser.
Yes, but it just, and I think that all modern cars have this. So it's a better solution, and for space considerations, it's definitely a lot better. So that's what we have.
Yeah.
And this is the coolant that controls the cooling fans, the two cooling fans, electric.
You have the one
yes.
here and then the
one on the inside. Okay. It's a Spal on the inside and it's a Denso on the outside.
So were they factory electric fans?
No. Fan? I have modified that. It was just a regular mechanical fan, driven off the belt.
Okay.
And that has been removed. And the electrical fans, for air conditioning, you definitely need to have electric fans anyway.
Yeah.
And now we have two, basically like on a modern car.
Yeah.
And I bought that Spal controller, and it basically works. I compared to the Saab 9000 at the time when I did this, and it works basically the same way. It's how it's set up. Yeah. It's nothing particular. It's just.
So you added these? Are these the factory?
These are extras for the fans. These are the standard ones, but I put in modern relays because the original ones were little round aluminum ones, and they were rattling inside, so I didn't trust them. So I just put in modern Bosch relays, and this is for the fans. I had fused there.
So the original fuse and relay box was in this
and
area as well.
I also fused the extra lights. There is two extra lights, which was an option. It's inside the grill.
Oh, okay.
And that fused there also.
So so these are the extra lights.
Yes,
and then
exactly. Yeah. And the other lights are folded down at the moment.
Right there, and you can see. Right, okay. So is that an option or is it a?
They were an option, but they were not installed on. Actually, it may have had them, but obviously I got new inserts on that, which were better. It was seal beam lights, on the car.
Yeah.
and that's no good. The thing would be to get diodes, you know. So,
Yeah,
but I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Maybe. That means pretty plug and play now.
Yes.
If you have room for the.
Oh yeah, yeah. And there is, these are standard 7-inch headlights, you know, and there are LEDs, legal and illegal ones available galore, you know. So it's just a matter of choosing the one you want, you know, the look you want or whatever. Yeah. So there is plenty available to replace that. And obviously I could replace all the light bulbs in the car with LEDs nowadays.
And since there's no modern system that tracks whether they're burnt out or not, it doesn't care. I know on my Volvo, it's like, oh, I don't recognize this. Even though the lights work, it says your bulbs are out.
Yeah, exactly. I know. So and you have to put in resistors and shit, you know, to fool it into believing that everything is hunky-dory. Yeah. It's not ideal.
So that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll start taking things apart to pull out the engine and find out what's going on with the transmission. I hope you enjoyed this format that's a little different than usual on this channel, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like. Let me know what you think about this little Saab down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.